guys, it's Sonia. So I've gone down a rabbit hole with this whole history with Turnbo, Malone. Let me tell you guys, I am so fascinated with the things that I'm finding out from the research I've been doing on her. I'm doing this part 3, part of Black Hair Story, Black History Month, because I just feel like there's so many key factors and why Annie Malone's place in history is so important. Black history in particular, cosmetology as Black women know it in particular. And I want to go back to the 1904 World's Fair. Remember how, Annie moved from Illinois to Missouri in 1902. She moved her business, her home, everything. And the purpose of her going there was so that she could be part, first of all, she knew she could reach more Black people with her product, her wonderful hair growth product. Second, she also knew that the World's Fair was coming to St. Louis, to Missouri in 1904. So that was a huge opportunity for her to really get her product out there. The World's Fair, I didn't realize that this meant people from all over were coming to St. Louis from all over the world, different countries. And this was America's way of demonstrating their, I guess, superiority, to show why they're the greatest country and how they're so ahead of the game when it comes to military force, for having the best of everything. So they had a lot of disgusting displays to show that basically white people were better, smarter. They had this whole Filipino village that was, oh my gosh, I read about this just recently, and it spanned blocks. These people were basically imprisoned, enslaved, for the purpose of being on display to show that, to show their savagery. Same with Africans. There were pygmy Africans that were brought over for the same reason. They were put on display like circus animals, like zoo animals. And the whole purpose was to show that they were the missing link between humans and monkeys. My blood boiled reading this stuff. It's so disgusting. But the oh my God, the racism of the World's Fair is absolutely unbelievable, but also believable, because this is America we're talking about. The racism of America, is deep and is strong. The World's Fair was no different. They had Filipinos on display. They had Africans on display. There was a man who actually, mind you, this is 1904. He bought slaves. He bought some Black people, had them on display. There's a photo of this man and his slaves, 1904. I guess to show that they're subhuman and that their only worth was to work. That like they're animals. They shouldn't be free. They shouldn't be able to think on their own or whatever. They're only good to work, like a common donkey or cow or bull on a farm. So this is the ugly underbelly of the World's Fair. Now, why I became so fascinated with this The World's Fair was not for Black people. Black people were not welcome to the World's Fair, even though it was in their city. They weren't welcome. They were not treated well at all. There was a group of Black women. It was an organization. They wanted to have like a booth where they could meet up and, do their thing, and nobody would give them a booth. So they took their business elsewhere. It was like 200 Black women. They wouldn't even give Black people a drink of water, let alone service them in any type of way. So this got me to wondering, how in the world did Annie Malone find a way to sell her product to Black people? Because clearly the World Fair, it was pretty much impossible for Black vendors to even be seen or have a spot with the blatant racism that was displayed constantly. And you have to remember, this World's Fair went on for months. I want to say from like May to December. I could be wrong. I'll correct myself somewhere in this video if I'm not right. So you had this huge fair with people from all over the world that descended upon St. Louis, Missouri. So think of all the money that this brought, all the money that could be made. So no doubt Annie Malone, she planned. She knew that this was a good opportunity for her. And it sounds like to me that she knew exactly where to go to find her people, even though they were not welcome at this fair. She knew where to go to find these people. And she may not have been welcome at the fair itself. So my thinking is she may have set up shop outside the fair or somewhere close where she knew she would find Black people, where she could sell her products, where she could still reach them and sell her products. And I think that's key because it's smart. It took supreme planning on her part, which she clearly did, because she moved there in 1902 and she had 2 years to plan for this. She had 2 years to figure out how and where she would set up shop to sell her own products. And I think that's so key. I think it's smart, it's a testament to her drive to reach her people, to sell her product, and to still find a way in an environment where she was not welcome. Her kind was not welcome. Black people were not welcome. And she's a Black woman on top of that. And when you look at the photos, these archives, you can clearly see that this was meant for white people and their family. When they got bored, you can go to this exhibit of human beings of different races. With the Filipino, I never knew that the Filipinos were treated so horribly at the World's Fair. They made them kill dogs, I think twice a day. And they had them kill the dogs, in front of crowds. And then they made them eat the dog. Now, I don't know if they cooked it or if they ate it raw. But again, this is what they were made to do, to show that, they weren't human, they were savage, and, white people, us Americans, we're better. We're better than you. Look at these savages we have. And they had these pockets of human beings of different races that they felt were beneath them throughout the World's Fair. Filipinos, Africans, Um, who else? American Indians. As if putting them on reservations wasn't good enough, we're going to have you on display like zoo animals. And they created worlds, y'all, that look like their common living world with teepees, whatever that race's background was. They made it seem like this was, their homes. They were in their environment, even though they're on display. They're prisoners. So these white people, Americans and foreigners, could walk by, look at them, laugh at them, point at them, and say, yeah, look at those savages. They're not even human. Look at how they live. Look at how they eat. Why do they look like that? They're weird. They don't look like us. We're better than them. It's disgusting. But again, for Annie to overcome that kind of racism at the World's Fair and still get her product out there, to still do well, to still make money, to get all the customers that she was still able to get is amazing. And the racism of the World's Fair, it truly needs to be talked about. And I also found it to be quite interesting that in 1898, there was also a World's Fair in Paris. And W.E.B. Du Bois, he was commissioned to do a special exhibit called The Progress of the American Negro. And basically the point of that was to show that there wasn't a monolithic black culture in America. But, black Americans were thriving. They were smart. They wrote books. And they were contributors to society. They were hard workers. They weren't dumb. They weren't just good enough to be free labor, to be slaves. Mind you, this is 1898, and his exhibit was a success in Paris, in the Paris World's Fair. Then 1898 to 1904, and America just totally undid what W.E.B. Du Bois showed. They showed just how racist they were. Black people couldn't even get a drink of water at the 1904 World's Fair. They were still treated as subhumans, lower than animals. They were not even welcome at the World's Fair unless they were on display as animals. So it's just that kind of history we need to know. We need to remember. We need to really recognize and see how far we were, like how far we've come along, but then at the same time how much further we need to go. And in some senses, I feel like we're simply stuck. Like we really haven't moved that much when it comes to the progress of race relations. But, for an entrepreneur like Annie Malone to take that situation and still make it work for her is important, because had she not done that, we don't know if we ever would have gotten to know her. Like, would she still have been successful? And I want to believe that she would have, because she had that drive and hunger to get her product out there. But it probably would have taken her maybe a little bit longer. But this woman planned. She planned ahead. She was smart. And she saw the opportunity 2 years prior. Like, hey, The World's Fair is going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. I need to be there. That's the perfect opportunity for me to get my product in my people's hands. And the fact that she did that and it happened in her, the rest is basically history, because her business took off from there. She boomed, and from there, you know, she built warehouses so she can manufacture her product. She hired employees. She taught her employees how to use her product, how to sell her product, how to make her product. And she just continued to grow from there. And she kept that money in the Black community. And that was the blueprint that Madam C.J. Walker followed. And I guess maybe in some ways even perfected, you know, to work in her, to her advantage. And I don't want to seem like I'm constantly knocking Madam C.J. Walker. I think history in itself did her a disservice by crediting her with things that she did not come up with on her own. There was someone before her that showed her the way, that provided the blueprint, and that's Annie Malone. So I just want to make sure Annie Malone gets the credit that she deserves when it comes to her place in history, all the things that she did, the innovations, the smarts, the forethought, her business mind, her when it comes to chemistry, and even just coming up with her different products to help Black hair. Annie Malone did that, and she deserves credit for that. And despite the fact that when she died, she lost a lot of money. She wasn't broke. Maybe she was broke by millionaire status. I don't know, but I don't mind that she was broke when she died, because we know that the majority of her money went back into the Black community. It went back into Black communities all over the world, not just in St. Louis or Chicago or New York or wherever she had a store or college. You know, her money went back to the Black community. She was a philanthropist to her detriment, because she went broke because of how much she gave back to historically Black colleges and orphanages and education, and the money she devoted to her own college to help young Black men and women. So the World's Fair, you guys, do your research. It's on the internet. Look it up. Look at these hideous photos. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And this, America really thought that this was their way to show that they were the superior race. That, white people were the best. American white people were the best. And the savages that they allowed to live in America were beneath them, and they weren't worth being treated as humans. And fast forward to 2021, and you tell me what you see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've enjoyed doing this. I'm kind of obsessed with Annie Turnbo Malone. If you reached to the end of this video, kudos to you. Yay. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I appreciate it. This is truly interesting stuff, and I love it. Talk to you later. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Bye-bye.